When we're looking at these sampling distributions, we're going to call these estimators. So we're going to be estimating our true population proportions or our true population means. Whenever we do this, we want to make sure that our estimator, our sample, is of course as unbiased as possible. And we talked about how to ensure or minimize bias. Well, it's almost impossible to eliminate it altogether. There are methods we can ensure that our estimator is as unbiased as possible. So when it is unbiased, we get better results. We can say that samples are unbiased estimators when the mean of their sampling distribution is equal to the parameter being measured. So on the front page of these notes, we had that shape that looked very normal, and we can see that the mean, because the median would have to be the same as the mean, would also center around the true population of 50% red widgets being represented. So what is a biased estimator? I think you can guess, but the formal definition: when a sampling distribution varies too much from the parameter of interest. This is an biased estimator. And there's two ways this can happen. So there's two possible reasons that a biased estimator can occur. Is first, there's a flaw in your sampling method. That makes sense. If you did something wrong, if you didn't really randomize, if you didn't get a good representation of your population with every single sample. Now we're talking hundreds and hundreds of samples. That's one thing that could occur. Or two, the parameter was actually incorrect in the first place. So we're comparing to what we think a parameter is, and we get this bias occurring. We know we've done everything right. Then the only other conclusion is that the parameter itself was incorrect. And that's where we're going soon. All right, how do you reduce the variability of a statistic, and why would you want to? One way to reduce variability and increase our confidence. So how confident are we with our results? The easiest way to fix that is to increase the sample size. I'm thinking back to our example on page 1 where it asked about where they sent out the 1,000 surveys but only got 137 back. I would definitely send out maybe 5,000 surveys so that I would hopefully get many, many more back, and I would get a better representation of what my customers really think. Surprisingly, the size of the population really doesn't have much impact on the spread of the sampling distribution, as long as the population is at least 10 times larger than the sample. And this actually goes back to what we just studied in chapter 6 when we talked about independence. If I take too large a chunk out of my population, then I'm reducing my probability. I'm changing my independence and my fixed probabilities, and that is not good. So we want to make sure that our samples are actually, and it's kind of counterintuitive. We want to take a large sample, but we only want it to be a tenth or less than our actual population. So there's kind of a sweet spot right at 10% of our population, but we don't want to go past that because it is going to mess up some of our measurements. And finally, what's the difference between accuracy and precision? And how does this relate to bias and variability? We have these bullseyes here that illustrates the difference between accuracy and precision. So this is precise, like all of our data is in one, or all of our shots, since this is a bullseye, are in one location. That's extremely precise. However, it's not very accurate because we want to hit the bullseye. So this has a high bias in that it didn't hit the mark, but it's low variability. It's really, really tight. So this would be a distribution where there's hardly any variability, but it's not even close to our mean or our proportion of our actual population. So this one, it's pretty well distributed around our bullseye. However, it's got a lot of variability. Nothing actually hit the bullseye. So this is low bias. We're getting close, but it's got high variability. And the easiest way to fix this would be to increase our sample size. This one has a high bias and high variability. It's way spread out and not anywhere close to the mark. So this would suggest something like there's an error in the sampling methods. And finally, this one right here, this is perfect. This is what we want. We want low variability, so good sample size. And we also want no bias. So we want to get as close to our target as possible. So some combination actually of these two isn't too bad, but those are the things you want to keep in mind.